Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Larry, welcome back to Company Showcase.
Thanks, Jim. It's always great to be on the showcase.
Larry, EVs, battery plants, recycling, they're all hitting the headlines over the past week. Is that good news for American Manganese?
Oh, that's excellent news, Jim, especially when it comes to the recycling. We've seen announcements of gigafactories going in. We've seen the battery manufacturers building up to those gigafactories. We see actual suppliers that supply the cathode materials are getting much larger. And now recycling is being talked about, and certainly that puts us in a good position because we've strived hard to develop a process that is, let's put it up this way, right up to date on what the battery manufacturers are looking for. And but it also covers off, which is going to become very important here, probably this year, is just how much do you recycle and what goes back into the environment. And in our particular case, it's a closed loop. We don't put anything back into the environment that we can't. There might be some plastics or something like that, fluorites, that we capture before we put the powder out. But so we're in a good position. If you want to get a permit, perhaps a year or two from now, unless you can show excellent circular economy results, I don't think you'll get a permit anymore. So we want to be in that position to get the permits, and we spent a lot of money to get here, and a lot of time, and a lot of work. And thanks to the third tier work that we did, we found out about the particle sizes, which we'd never have found out about if we hadn't done that type of work. And and now we're closing in on that technology. We're doing work on the pilot plant and processing through the catalyst, to get the particle size down and the shape. So I think we're in excellent shape here. I'm seeing numbers of $8 billion worth of recycling going through 3-4 years from now, and that leaves room for everybody. And what is most astounding is the fact that all of a sudden there's a lot of companies that are interested in recycling. There's only so many methods that you can use. Thank God we got our permits and I should say our patents. And that was one of the critical things that we had to get done, right at the very beginning. So that's working out well in our favor. And if you want to put a plant in New York or Syracuse or Ontario or Ottawa, wherever, you're going to have to be making sure that you're not contaminating the environment or putting anything into the atmosphere. So that's what we've strived for, and now I think we've positioned ourselves in a position where we can actually, I don't see anybody else showing their powder. I don't see anything but round numbers when it comes to recycling, and you're not sure whether they're talking about the entire battery or if they're only talking about the cathode materials. But if they're not showing their powder, that means that they're probably talking about, the lesser methods of shredding batteries. And now there's a lot of companies out there in the shredding business that try to optimize that part of their business by creating, shredding machines that can do a lot of that work for you. And so you can just about buy it off the shelf. And, that's certainly we're looking at scraps, which is the low-hanging fruit. And we can go from there. And not to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I just walked through the door, and there have been meetings down at Cometco all morning and early afternoon. So I'm only talking about something that I know something about. And, we don't have any press releases this week, but there's a lot of things pending that will be press releasable. And so we'll be working on getting those out. We need an odd thing here or there. So it didn't accommodate getting the press release out this week, which I know people are used to. But you got to cut us a little slack. We can't put a press release out every week. That doesn't make sense, and we don't want to put anything out that's nonsense. That really is nonsense. So it's a great time. I know that our market has suffered a little bit, but I'm certainly not concerned about that in the short term. I think that's a short-term result, and when we get back on track again next week, could bring in some advancements that the market's been waiting for. So, we're just trucking along here, Jim, and trying to get everything done. And when you start looking at $8 billion in say 3, 4, 5 years. What's it going to be like 10 years from now? It'll probably be more like about $25-30 billion. So there's room for everybody. And remember that the more people talking about recycling, the more people that will discover us. And so that's a good thing. I mean, I've been in this type of a market before, and until we got a certain critical mass of people that were talking about the process or the type of deposit you have or critical metals or whatever it may be, the better off everybody is, because now there's a lot of people start to focus on it. So I see this being a great thing, Jim.
Larry, for people new to American Manganese, what's the company all about?
American Manganese is a critical metals company that discovered a process back in 2010-11, and it was patented in 2012 for treatment of low-grade manganese, which is a critical metal. And we're doing work for the old Department of Defense and the DLA. So that's moving along. We took that process. And that's a cornerstone of our recycling, which is the way we process the material. So we've got that locked up tight, and now we're in the final stages of our pilot plant with the sizing of the particles. So it's the roots of our company, and we've got 4 patents around the world on manganese. We've got 7 applications in for other parts of the world for permitting, getting our patents in certain jurisdictions. So we're in good shape that way. You can find out anything you want at AmericanManganeseInc.com. You can contact me at my email address, LREAUGH@AMYMN.com. Or phone me at 778-574-4444 and get an update. I get a lot of queries in the emails. Sometimes it's quite tasking to get back to everybody, and sometimes you lose it and you don't get it. Just resend it. We are traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. We're traded on the QB board in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF, and we're traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM.
Larry, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome, Jim.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on March 19th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.